Welcome to the Snowbird Investor Way, where we explore what it takes to create your dream cross-border lifestyle, living and investing amongst the sun, sand, and palm trees of Florida, even if you're not a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. I'm your host, Coach Roel. So Diana, welcome to the Snowbird Investor Way podcast. A little bit about you to give us a head start is you're originally from Bradford. That's your home in Bradford, Ontario. You're currently in Naples. Would love to hear about that. And you have a few different businesses. You're also a mother of three. Your husband's down there with in Naples with you right now. So first question to kind of open up the conversation is, what's the draw for you? Why Florida? You're a nice Canadian girl, just like me, Canadian boy. But what's the draw for you for Florida?
For me and for my family, we love the lifestyle down here. Something to be said about sunshine every day that is really doing wonders for our mental health. We actually came down for the first time. Well, just to backtrack, my grandparents were snowbirds. So I had the privilege of being down here with my grandparents in Naples, and I kind of shaped my childhood memories around Naples and all the going to the beach and all the beautiful stuff that you do on vacation. So I have that nostalgia and that image of Naples. So my parents and my brother and his family, during COVID, we decided we were going to do some investing in Naples. We wanted to get down there once, the world got better again. We wanted to just run down to Florida. So we ended up finding 3 condos in a row. And so these 3 condos were actually in the same area that my grandfather used to live. So again, coming back to that nostalgia, we were able to buy it sight unseen because we knew what we were buying. So we ended up buying these 3 condos in a row. And last year we lived down here for 6 months. And we really fell in love. And once we came down here, pretty much the whole time we were down here last year, I was just thinking, me and my husband were like, how do we do this again? And how do we have a reason to stay down here? And that's what kind of opened the door for us with getting into, building a real estate portfolio out here. Naples is a wonderful community that people love to visit. So if you look, on Airbnb, and if you look at all the different, short-term rental websites, you'll see that Naples holds a high value for short-term rentals. And it's just the type of area that, we're thinking, okay, we own one place down here. It's time that we expand on that. So this trip has been a huge expansion for us. We've been down here since the end of December and really just doing our research and really just kind of getting entrenched in the areas that we'd like to be in, the areas that we'd like to invest. So that's kind of, honestly, lifestyle for us is the driving purpose of us being down here. We just love the lifestyle and just, it's like a very beautiful energy down here. And it's addictive. And so that's kind of where we're at right now.
So to give a bit of context, because we're recording this now, it's February 6, 2024.
Yeah.
You've been down there since end of December. So that's what, about just over a month now.
Right.
How long do you plan to stay on this trip?
We're leaving tomorrow, and I'm really sad about it.
Oh, you're leaving tomorrow already.
Yeah,
Okay.
We're leaving tomorrow, but only for 19 days. So I honestly have those days counted because we got to get back down here. So the other side of it is that I happen to have a business that is remote in a sense because it is an online store. So I do have a location in Toronto that I ship out my orders. It's a wellness business. So I focus on self-care routines and wellness products. So that business has been able to be sustained while I've been down here, which I'm very grateful for, but that's been 13 years in the making. So I'm very proud of that. So we're coming home tomorrow, and we are coming back at the end of the month because I've now kind of set up my business down here a little bit as well. So it's really interesting, whatever you put your focus and attention towards, it kind of just like mountains start moving to make it happen for you. So that's kind of what has happened. So me, like, flashback to last year thinking, okay, I need a reason to be down here. Now this year, I have many reasons to be down here, and I can only spend 19 days in February back in Toronto because I have to be back down here by the end of the month. So very,
Hmm.
very excited about that.
So I want to delve deeper into your wellness business. I think
Mhm.
that's quite interesting. But to help me out with some context first, in because you've got a spouse, your husband
Yeah,
also works, I presume, and then you got three kids.
right.
So logistically, let's talk about how you're able to figure out being physically in Naples or in Florida in general,
Yeah,
and then how your business ties into all of that. So your
yeah,
kids, you mentioned before we hit record that they're homeschooling for
yeah.
some of the time or full time.
So my children are 18 months, 5 years old, and 8 years old. We decided, again, with the influence of COVID, that we just really didn't want them to be in the school, the system. So we started, my son, my oldest son at the time was only in kindergarten, and we just started homeschooling him, and not really us personally, mom and dad being the teacher. We just found different outlets for him to attend, and we actually locked in with a wonderful online education system where he has a tutor, and he has had the same tutor for the past 3 years, and she's absolutely wonderful. So he has one-on-one schooling with her. Now the 5-year-old who is in kindergarten, I mean, life is school. That's like my belief. We do so much with all of them, but specifically the 5 and 8-year old, we do so much with them that I feel they're getting way better value from being with mom and dad, learning what we're doing every day to day, doing their schoolwork, plugging into that. And I just want to be able for them to look back on this life, for us to look back on this life and say, we didn't let anything hold us back. There's opportunities for them to attend school down the road. Like, that door is never closed, but they're young now, and we just want to explore, and we want to just really enjoy our lives. And I know that they're grateful for this opportunity because back in Toronto, they are in it's an alternative school. It's actually a forced school. So they spend, most of the day outside. They're immersed in nature. It's a wonderful school from near Bradford where we're living, and they love it. And so they're excited to go back, but at the same time, like, it's not really, they don't really feel like they're going back to anything. Like, they're every day is school. It doesn't matter if it's Saturday, Sunday, like every day we have a routine. So for them, this is all they know. And this is kind of how we've shaped our life to fit what we want out of this beautiful, precious life that we have. We
Hmm.
really want to take control of that, because a lot of times that's like the first question you get. It's like, oh wow, you're in Florida. What about the kids? It's like, don't worry about the kids. The kids are good.
Yeah.
Kids are real good. So I feel
But
very proud about
how
that.
about your husband? What does he do?
So my husband was in the hotel renovation industry prior to COVID, and then post COVID, he started dabbling just with construction and home inspections, and we always just really had this like love of like real estate investing. So we started doing that in Toronto together as a team. So we started, buying, condos, flipping them, and that's kind of how we started, getting the ball rolling with the whole like real estate investing world. And now my husband down here, he's going to be doing home inspections because he is certified for home inspections in Canada and in the US. He took that certification. But
Excellent.
also, we're going to be focusing on, managing our real estate portfolio and just having that beautiful flexibility in life. Because, me, I've had my business for 13 years. Like, it's my other child. So I'll never
Hmm.
let that go. I'll just keep shaping it and forming it to different, how it's going to work for me. But that's my baby. And my husband, he's been a wonderful support to our family. It's not easy having three kids and like, having to go back to work. There's no maternity leave there. So we've really, really been able to balance like, who's going to stay home? Who's going to go? What are we going to do now? So right now we're managing this way. And I would say, to answer your question, we work together. That's what
Hmm.
he's doing. And it's wonderful.
And so, Diana, has it always been that way with that dynamic between the two of you? Again, having that entrepreneurial, how can I spirit, or was there a point where you were both, or either one of you, were working a regular job and thinking, can we actually do this? Was there a transition period for you where you changed your outlook, your mindset?
Huge transition period. I remember right before
So
COVID.
contrast that for us. So what was it
Yeah.
like before you had this go get
So
'em kind of attitude?
yeah, so I mean, I've had my business for 13 years. It started off as a mobile spa, and it has transformed over the years. Um, and it has taken a lot of resilience to keep it going. My husband was in the hotel renovation industry, and we would wake up in the morning. He would be gone at 5:30, home at 6:30, and I remember thinking, like, what kind of life is this? Like, honestly, what kind of life is this? This is where we don't have, it's not about our relationship, it's just like the quality time. Like, and I just remember thinking, like, we can't go on like this. Like, someone's got to either win the lottery, make it big, we got to figure something out. And then, the world shut down, and it gave, like, all his projects came to a standstill. He wasn't even able to work. So my business kept going because, people were buying and doing all the things. And I'm pretty, I do a lot on social media. So my business was still going. But it really just reframed how we wanted to spend our time and how we wanted to live our life. So when things started getting back opening again and rolling again, we kind of looked at each other and was like, we're not trading our time like that. That's not healthy. We had another child in the mix there. And so now that we had this new baby, we just thought, yeah, no, we're not going down that road again. We're going to make it work for our family. We're going to be together, and
Mm-hmm.
we're going to just take control of our life in the way we want to see it. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm fortunate that I mean, I have the entrepreneurial spirit. I always have. My dad's an entrepreneur. I honestly never even knew people went to go get jobs. I thought you just had to start a business. So that's kind of how I was brought up. So I feel like my, like, driving force, like, really has given my husband the confidence to just, trust me and, like, and really just, like, let's go, let's do this. Everything is how you see it. That's what I believe. Okay, if you don't think it's going to work out, it's not going to work out. If you think it's going to work out, it will work out. Okay, that's just, I've seen it happen. I've proved it. We've proved it. And that's kind of where we're going, what we're doing.
So the expansion into Florida, was that more out of frustration or was it more out of ambition? If you could put like a percentage between the two, what would you say that was for you?
I would say it was, like, highly about frustration, not being able to leave, and just not feeling that, like, sense of freedom, um, in a place that we love and grew up, and just wanting to be away, just wanting
Mm-hmm.
to experience something different. And I'm happy that we had that frustration, and enough so to commit to being down here for 6 months. And it took work before that. Like, that was a lot of preparation to say, okay, it for 6 months we're going to go down to Florida and, quote unquote, not work. But we were working because we always, every day you wake up. Every day I wake up, I work. Even if I don't make a dollar, I'm still working. But that took a lot of preparation. So, we had to do a couple home flips. We had to figure out how we're going to sustain for 6 months and make it happen. But I am so grateful for that experience because it completely shaped our family, and just, like, the joy, the feeling of us all being down here together. It was life changing. It was absolutely life changing. So now it's like, it's opened up a new door, and it's changed our lives in many ways. And that's the Florida effect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then, so did you have like, I don't know, I'm kind of shooting in the dark here. Do you have like a philosophy approach to it? Like, what would be the priority? Is it the lifestyle is the priority? I know I hear a lot of that from you, or is it the ability to the local economy in Florida? But your business is highly online, as you mentioned. So
Mhm.
for you, what's the balance between all of the above, all of the attractors for you?
I think for me, so I think I can only speak about Naples specifically, just from how I felt being down here, and especially this trip. I feel like it's a great place to make money, because of the quality of people down here. Okay. And I'm just speaking, about how fast I've been able to network down here, how quickly I've been able to make connections, and how welcoming people have been, and how, open they are to hearing about what you have to say. Um, Maybe that's just because I want it to be that way. Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just feel like the vibe is very, very the vibe I want to be on, and
Hmm.
so I
Like, is
think like,
it business friendly? Is it
yeah,
socially
both.
more?
Yeah,
What?
business friendly both. Like, so this trip I've done a lot of business networking. I've set up my business. So I sell massage chairs, and I've set that showroom up in a high end car detailing shop here in Naples. So as people are
Nice.
getting their cars detailed, they're experiencing how wonderful it is to have a full body massage in a luxurious massage chair. And so I've worked something out with the company that, essentially they're selling the massage chairs. Um, and I just feel like that connection, that whole deal being made was, I'm not going to use the word easy. I'm not going to say easy, but it happened in a beautiful flow. Like, it really just, like, it wasn't a grind to make that happen. It was like, okay, this person introduced me to this person, and I spoke to this person. They were interested. It was like everything just lined up perfectly, and it
Hmm.
just gives me the evidence that, like, okay, this is where I need to be. This is working out. This is beautiful. Let's keep going with it. And like, I'm not I've said this a couple times. It's because I want it to be this way. Yeah, like, that's
Hmm.
just like, it's a huge, like, when you energetically match what you want in life, like, it happens regardless. Like, I'm not really thinking about any bad outcome. Okay, because even if there was to be something that happened that didn't wasn't great, it's happening for us, not to us.
Hmm.
That's just our belief system. So that's a lot of, like, mindset work that we've done, just to prepare ourselves for this kind of next journey, you know? So,
Hmm. How many parts do you think it's because you're just happier in the weather? Because contrast that with Canada, if I can relate a little bit. I
mhm,
remember my wife and I actually made the big move in late 2017. Our first 10-day vacation, significant vacation to Florida, was earlier that year. But I remember for the 3 years prior, she grew up in the Philippines in tropical paradise and came over as a grown up to Canada. And I remember for 3 years straight, she said, it's gloomy. It's supposed to be
mhm,
summer and it's overcast and, it wasn't comfortable. I had grown up on the mean streets of Scarborough since the 70s. So I was like, oh, this is just normal. But
mhm.
hearing it from somebody else's perspective, we're like, okay, let's go on a vacation. Let's try Florida. And it was just this whole different world. We found we were different people ourselves. So
100%.
for you, do you think it's the business environment in Canada that was different, or was it really you, or what distribution of either one?
No, I think it was us for sure. Us being
Yeah.
different down here. There is definitely something to be said about sunshine every day. A lot of people, like, I have a lot of, obviously, friends and from Toronto, and in the past couple days, I've seen every single person posting finally sun, like, praising that there's sun finally, because that affects people. And when there was no sun, that's all you heard about, and it really it's amazing how much it affects you. Like, even just like, so a couple weekends ago we had to fly to Toronto. I was speaking at an entrepreneurial event, and I like, it's almost like I forgot. Like, I didn't bring a jacket. We hopped on a flight. We got off the plane. I'm wearing my running shoes. I'm stepping in snow. I'm like, oh no, 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 no. I don't want this at all. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, that's just the way I want to live my lifestyle. I know it's like, sometimes snow is nice and this and that, but when I want it to be. I don't want to be controlled
Right.
by the weather, and like, I don't feel like doing anything. I don't feel like going out, because yeah, my business is still growing in Toronto. So it's not 100% about the business. It's about how I operate my business,
Right.
and I feel it's much healthier down here. Yeah.
Because I've heard that from a few different people as well, and many different versions of the statement of people saying, "I'm a different person when I'm in
Hmm.
Florida."
Hmm.
How much can you or can you not relate to that statement? Being a different person down when you're down in Naples.
I can relate to that big time. Um,
How is that so? Like someone who's never experienced that would be like, "What? What are you talking about?" So, in from your perspective, how does that define you, or how do you define being a different person while you're down in Florida?
I think it's the excitement of something new, something different. Like on a random night, like it's like, what do you want to do tonight? I don't know. Do you want to go watch the sunset? Sure. Like, I don't know. Like that is like, that doesn't cost anything. That's just an option.
Yeah.
And I just
But
love
to be a
that.
devil's advocate, Diana,
Yeah,
can't you watch the sunset from Bradford?
I never have. I never have. Because I don't know. I like to watch a sunset on the beach. I think it's beautiful to like see it go
Yeah,
down into
it's
the horizon, like to see it go down on someone's rooftop. I don't know, not the same effect. But yeah, like I understand what you're saying, and honestly, it just goes back to like this is like what I'm making it glorious because I want it to be, you know, and
mm-hmm.
someone can come down here and have a totally different experience, and it's not right for them, and you got to just follow what is going to bring you joy. So yeah, I feel like it's just it's the adventure of something new. It's exciting. The weather and this actually, since we've been down here, it hasn't even been that warm, but I'm fine with it. Like a light
Yeah.
jacket, I'm good, and it's just, I don't know, it's a beautiful place. It makes me happy. My family is thriving, and like we always paint this picture, like let's just say it doesn't work out down here. All right, we go back. Big deal.
Yeah. Can you expand on that kind of like from the life point of view?
Yeah.
Uh, Making that move or making that expansion. I've heard a lot of people say, "Well, yeah, I'm not ready to leave Canada." I'm like,
Hmm.
nobody's asking you to leave Canada. I haven't. I assume you've not revoked your passport,
No,
right? We're still going to
no.
have our Canadian citizenship, but why can't we have both? And like, could
Yeah.
you kind of paint a picture on your perspective on how you see this adventure of yours, on how the balance between the two? And again, like you said, if things don't work out, or what's kind of like a backup plan, what's worst case scenario? You must have thought of it from different angles.
Yeah, I feel like for us, like now that we've really like, established, my business down here, and we have just this one property and we're looking to get others. We're really looking strongly at that. I think for us, until we secure another property that will be strictly an investment, that's when we can say, okay, what do we need in Canada? Do we need this house in Bradford? Maybe not. So cashing out, okay. And just like my scenario, what I think of is like, okay, my kids, I'm not going to use the word structure, but like to go back and forth, that's not really ideal for them. Having them in one spot is a little bit better. So maybe like next year we'll work towards not so much back and forth. We'll be in more one spot. I'm thinking here. We'll sell our house, and when we want to go back, we get an Airbnb. We stay with family. We figure it
Hmm.
out that way. Like I don't like I really am trying to like really convince myself of like, why do I need a house in Bradford? For what? Why? The value is so high. Could probably get two houses down here. That's
Yeah.
just how I feel, you know? And so that's kind of what we're thinking. It's like we'll always go back. We have family, we have friends there. It's great. But I don't need
Yeah.
to own a house right now. But I'd love to like,
Interesting.
keep my eyes out and see if there's something great. We'll look at that. But right now, I don't think we need to have the house that we have in Bradford. I'd rather have two here for that amount of money.
Mm. So you're really all in Florida at this point.
Kind of, yeah.
It's kind of getting close to that.
It's getting close. Yeah, it is.
So I want to make sure we make some time for your cool business. Could you
Sure.
expand more? What's the name of the business, and what's the unique value proposition there?
Yeah, so it's called the Wellness Route. And I started it as a mobile spa. So I was seeing people for very special occasions. So I was getting calls for people's birthdays, for big celebrations. And it really just occurred to me, it's like, self-care should not be a special occasion. It should be a daily practice. So I've had, 3 children, and something that I've never lost was my self-care. Okay. Even if it's just, something as simple as like going into a different room and shutting the door, like that is self-care. So I thought, okay, how, like, I've always been obsessed with products and tools and different things. Like my house is filled with it. So I really just started to focus on what are my favorite products? What do I love? What do I want to share and talk about? I went ahead and did the Shopify website, which is fantastic. It makes, anyone shopping on a Shopify website, it's very easy to navigate, very easy to check out. And I just wanted that because I'm the queen of like abandoning carts. So I said, if I'm going to do the online thing, I really want to make it simple and like not complicated. So I have this beautiful website now, and I focus on helping people find self-care and solutions, and more so making it a routine. So anyone that purchases anything from me, I follow up with them and make sure they're using it, because the last thing I want is someone to buy something and then it sits on the shelf and it collects dust. Okay, that's a nightmare, because that creates like resentment, and it's like you buy something in the name of self-care and you don't even use it. Like you have the intention of using, you don't even use it. So I provide that coaching for free for my customers. Anyone that purchases anything, they are like, I will say, this girl cares way too much. And I do, because I really want people to use the products that they're purchasing. So that's kind of been my focus. It's great. I do a lot of like pop-ups back in Toronto. Here I'm starting to do a few pop-ups, but in Florida, I'm really focusing on the massage chairs, because there's a lot of retirement people down here. And I think just, for someone to finally retire and move to Florida and do the whole thing, to get a beautiful massage chair, like that's like the last piece of the puzzle. So that's kind of why I'm just narrowing down on the massage chairs out here in Florida. But yeah, that's kind of a nutshell of my business. And it makes me happy because it keeps me staying on top of all like the latest and greatest tools and routines, and it's very important. It's very important.
Mm-hmm. So what's the website? Do you have a specific
Yeah,
website that people can go
it's
to?
the wellness route, ROUTE, like path route.ca, thewellnessroute.ca.
Okay, we'll make sure to put that in the description there. And
Thank
is
you.
that the best place for people to reach out to you if someone resonated with your story? Otherwise, can they reach out to you like over LinkedIn or Facebook, or how would you like that?
I think Instagram is the best spot. That's the app that I'm most on. And it would be the.wellnessroute.ca is where you could find me on Instagram.
Okay, wonderful. We'll make sure to have that in the description as well. Diana, thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you.
your tips and tricks and your story. It's going to be an inspiration, I'm sure, to others who will be listening to this. And I'm sure it's not the last time that we've heard from you.
Thank you so much. It was so great chatting with you.